Good afternoon. Another Philippine Coast Guard vessel replaced BRP Suluan and took over patrolling the vicinity waters near the Zambales coast, where a Chinese vessel was illegally operating according to the Philippine Coast Guard. In a report on Wednesday night, January 22, PCG spokesperson for the West Philippine Sea, Commodore J. Tariela, said BRP Cabra continued the agency's monitoring efforts and challenged the illegal presence of the China Coast Guard. According to Tariela, upon arriving in the area where BRP Suluan has been monitoring China Coast Guard vessel 3103, it was noted that another China Coast Guard vessel, identified by bow number 3304, was approaching their location. Tariela said that the China Coast Guard's movement indicates that they may anticipate the PCG deploying two vessels in response. However, Tariela added that as BRP Suluan made its way back to Subic, Zambales, China Coast Guard 3304 also retreated further from the coastline. In response to China Coast Guard's deployment of another vessel, Tariela said BRP Cabra engaged in hourly radio communications with China Coast Guard 3103 to remind them of their violations of the Philippine Maritime Zones Act, the United Nations Convention on the Law of the Sea, and the 2016 Arbitral Award. Tariela explained that the presence of the PCG vessel is intended to prevent the illegally operating China Coast Guard from getting closer to the Zambales coastline. The Armed Forces of the Philippines is looking into the reported discovery of an underwater drone in the waters of Bohol. In a statement on Wednesday, January 22, the AFP through Visayas Command said they have prioritized the investigation into the reported discovery of unidentified equipment floating at sea. The AFP issued the statement after videos of a silver and red drone floating near a fisherman's boat in Bohol circulated online. The AFP added that all appropriate AFP units and forces, particularly the Naval Forces Central, are actively coordinating and working together to gather details and ascertain the nature of the incident. The military likewise urged the individual who discovered the equipment and posted it on social media to immediately coordinate with the nearest military or naval units to ensure the proper handling and disposition of the item. Furthermore, the AFP emphasized its commitment to national security and calls on the public to remain vigilant, encouraging Filipinos to participate in safeguarding the country by promptly reporting any suspicious activities or discoveries to the proper authorities. Earlier, Navy spokesperson for the West Philippine Sea, Rear Admiral Roy Vincent Trinidad, revealed that 5 underwater drones were recovered in various parts of the country last year. Among the 5 drones, Trinidad said the latest was found on December 30 in the waters of San Pascual, Masbate. The AFP reported last January 2 that this drone bore Chinese markings and was subjected to further investigation. United States Secretary of State Marco Rubio says the U.S. under President Donald Trump remains committed to the Philippines' defense as tensions simmer with Beijing in the South China Sea. In a call with his Philippine counterpart Enrique Manalo, Rubio underscores the United States' ironclad commitments to the Philippines under their Mutual Defense Treaty, according to State Department spokesperson Tammy Bruce. Rubio made the call with Manalo a day after a veiled warning to Beijing on the South China Sea during a 4-way meeting with his counterparts from India, Japan, and Australia. Bruce says Secretary Rubio conveyed that China's behavior undermines regional peace and stability and is inconsistent with international law. The Philippines have engaged in increasingly tense confrontations with China over disputed South China Sea waters and reefs over the past year. China claims most of the strategic waterway despite an international tribunal ruling that its claim lacked any legal basis. The Department of Foreign Affairs says the 17 Filipino seafarers who were held hostage in Yemen have been released after more than a year in captivity. In a statement on Thursday, January 23, the DFA says they joined the nation in celebrating the release of the 17 Filipino seafarers. The DFA adds that the release of the seafarers could not have been possible without the support of and mediation efforts of the Sultanate of Oman. The agency also says that they are working on the immediate repatriation of the seafarers to Manila so that they could reunite with their long-suffering families as soon as possible. The DFA notes that despite all the challenges, quiet diplomacy worked in this instance. In November 2023, Yemeni rebels seized the carrier MV Galaxy Leader in the Red Sea and took hostage of its 25 crew members, including 17 Filipinos, in retaliation for Israel's offensive in Gaza. And these are the stories you need to know today. I am Zacharian Sarao, following INQUIRER.net on Facebook, X, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, and Reddit. For more stories, visit INQUIRER.net.